Om Sri Gurupyo Namaha. In this video, let us examine what is the relationship with a master as revealed by a master. See, one disciple has asked like this: Dear Master, I feel that in being with you there is no relationship. It is just an experience which happens afresh each time in your divine presence. Can you please skip, I mean, can you please speak of this mystery? Then the master said like this: My dear, there is no mystery at all. It is simply a reality. Every kind of relationship is, in some way or other, a subtle bondage of expectations, demands, which are followed by complaints, frustrations. Each relationship ends in such bitterness that one cannot believe that this is the same relationship that had begun in such a sweet way. It is a fragrance in the beginning, and slowly it becomes disgusting. And the reason is not that somebody is responsible for it. The very nature of relationship turns every sweet experience into a bitter experience. Why does love turns into hate? Why does friendship turn into enmity? What goes wrong? It has nothing to do with the individuals. It has something to do with the very fabric of a relationship. A relationship depends on expectations, and man is not capable. He is helpless. Neither any woman is capable of fulfilling anybody else's expectations. And when those expectations are not fulfilled, frustration sets in, things start going wrong. It is just because of the poverty of language that we have to use the word relationship for the strange experience that transpires between a master and a disciple. But it is not a relationship, not the relationship that you know. It is a category in itself. It is a moment to moment experience with no demands and no expectations. The master is available, the disciple is receptive, and between this availability and this receptivity, some miracle transpires. Something happens for which no word exists. And because it is not a relationship, it never grows old. It is always fresh, it is always young. Each time you come to the master, it is not a repetition. It is not the same in your other relationships. But if you have learned the art of the same in the presence of the master, this can become your lifestyle. It can happen between you and your wife, between you and your child, between you and your father, mother, between you and your friend. It is only a question of knowing that such a thing is possible, humanly possible. And if it is possible between a master and a disciple, why is it not possible between two lovers that each time they meet, it is not a repetition, it is not a memory, it is not something that they have known before. It is utterly fresh, absolutely young, just born. And if it can spread to all relationships, we have brought magic to the life of yours. The presence of the master has to be a living experience each moment. He is happy and grateful that you have been trusting enough to be open and receptive to him. The disciple has to learn this, not to expect anything, not to demand anything, but just to wait and let things happen on their own accord. See, in this regard, I would like to mention the relationship between a master and a disciple in great detail. See, normally you hear the word unconditional love. Unconditional love means not that love is constant, it is subject to all emotions. I mean the love. But what it essentially means is constant care. Between a disciple and guru, there are two relationships. See, one is between disciple and guru, and the other is between guru and disciple. Between a disciple and guru, the love is rarely unconditional. Rarely, my dear. The guru is judged on a daily basis, not just daily, but at every instance. If a disciple does not like something, they will question the master, they will question themselves. They may also feel bad for questioning the guru in their mind. They may feel guilty for doing that, and that if it happens for a few times, if you hurt anybody's ego, eventually they will go out of you. It's very simple. People dream of themselves, people love of themselves, people don't really love others. They are the people as such. See, then the second relationship is between a master and a disciple. So, between a disciple and a guru, that relationship is one thing, but between a master and a disciple also, the love is rarely unconditional. But if we take that equation of care, then it is unconditional. Please remember, my dear, because a true guru will never stop caring about his disciple, because that is why they accept them in the first place. Not because the guru was deeply attached to a disciple and say, I can't live without you, and so I am making my disciple come with me. I think there are other options than to be in a guru disciple relationship. The reason guru took somebody on is because he thought that this person, I mean the disciple, is seeking my help or wish to walk on the spiritual path. I can help this person and therefore I will take you on. So that is why a guru, if we call that thing love, does not fluctuate much. But if you think of love in a traditional sense, then of course the same principle will apply. But what does not happen if it is a true relationship. If the guru is true, then they will never stop caring about their disciples. And what happens when you care about somebody? When a mother cares about her child, when the children do something wrong, mother cannot resist but say a few words. Don't do that. Don't put your hand in fire. Don't lift this hot object. It may burn you. Even though the child says you don't know anything, etc. Still, mother says those things whether child likes it or not. So, Guru never stops working on a disciple. In other words, a guru, a guru never gives up a disciple. And when you don't give up on somebody, your love is unconditional. But if we quit love with attachment, then whether it is disciple, guru, or guru disciple, or mother child, or any other, then it is going to experience its higher and lower. In this regard, the master said, I would like to quote a story which has actually happened in the life of Bodhidharma, the great sage and saint. One of the greatest mystics India has produced was Bodhidharma. Born 1400 years ago, he went to China for a strange reason. When asked, he said, because people know too much in India and I need people who are innocent. In China, he worked for 20 years because he became very old, about 90 years, and decided to go back to Himalayas to receive death lovingly, meditatively, and consciously. But he said, before I go, he wanted to hand over the mystery school he created for 20 years to one of his disciples. So he had hundreds of disciples. Only 5 persons stood up when he announced it to his group of disciples. He laughed at them and said, you are the persons who have missed me, so just leave the school immediately. Then he went through the crowd of his disciples, looking into each of their eyes, and found 4 persons. He brought them out and said to them like this, I am going to ask a single question. The answer is going to decide who will be my representative when I am gone. So the question is, what is the essence of my whole mystic approach? Just use the minimum words, said Bodhidharma. Then the first man said, meditation. Then Bodhidharma said, you have my skin, you have penetrated me only skin deep. Just go back. Then the second man said like this, enlightenment. Then Bodhidharma said, you have my bones, so go back. Then the third person said, Master, I do not know. Then Bodhidharma said, you have my marrow. It is good, but not good enough. Just go back. Then he looked at the fourth man, and the fourth man just had tears in his eyes. No words. He fell at the feet of his master Bodhidharma. Then Bodhidharma said, you have been chosen, my dear. You will represent me. You have my being. You have got it. What they cannot say with words, you said by your silence. Although one of them came very close and said, I do not know, deep inside he was full of pride of not knowing. What he could not say, you managed to say loudly with your tears. So the man, that man has become the second patriarch of Jan Buddhism. So then the Bodhidharma said to him, please take care, my dear. I have created so many enemies who would like to kill you. Those five scholars who were the most knowledgeable scholars will take revenge. These three disciples that have been rejected will turn sore against you. Protect yourself because I am giving my heart. So, the more you come close to me, the master said, the more you come close to me, the less you will know. One day you will come closest when you feel I do not know. But even to be closest is as far away as the farthest star because closeness, even the closest point, is a distant phenomenon. The day you have become one, only then, my dear. But then there are no words left, just gratitude, tears, a song, a dawn, a dance, things which are thought crazy in the world of the intellects, but which are only the possible ways to express the inexpressible, my dear. Meera, through her songs and dance, merged with Lord Krishna. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, a great devotee,